Alright, so I get a lot of questions about Yamaha's brand new key fob that they use on their MT-09SP. A lot of people are worried about it. A lot of people have questions about how it works. So I'm going to give you an all-in video on everything you need to know about the Yamaha key fob and why it's not actually keyless, technically. You'll see. So a lot of people have questions like, what is the range? How does the fuel cap work? How do you take your seat off? How do you even turn it off and on? Because I didn't actually know that until yesterday, surprisingly. It's just been on this whole time, which I think is fine to do. But anyway, there's a lot of questions about it, a lot that Yamaha doesn't really tell you. So I went through the manual of my new bike yesterday, read everything about the key fob, and now I'm going to spit out all that information to you. Now, first things first, I have had no issues with this thing. People online seem to be worried about having a key fob, like what if it stops working? One thing I'll say too, Yamaha gives you two when you purchase the bike. So if you ever have issues, you're not stuck, you have another one that you can use. So the first thing I'll go on is the range. Now, I thought the range of this would have been like, I don't know, maybe out to here if you guys were the bike, which you actually are sitting on top of my bike. But according to the manual, this is the range, which is only like here and closer. So that's pretty surprising, but I guess looking back on it, I've always been that close to the bike when turning it off or on, so there's that. The second question I always get asked is, how do you open your fuel cap after you get off the bike and you want to fill it up? And there's no key to go into the fuel cap, so how do you open it? Once you get to the petrol station and you turn the key off on your bike, there is a 2-minute timer that starts that will unlock your fuel tank. So turn the bike off, you have 2 minutes to open up the fuel tank. You simply just pull it open and it'll open up. After 2 minutes, it'll lock again, and it's really as simple as that. I actually didn't know how it worked when I first got the bike. I went to the petrol station, turned the bike off, just opened up the fuel cap to see if I could open it, and it just magically opened. So it's kind of a no-brainer how it works, and they've made it really simple. So now, the one that I didn't know until I read the manual yesterday was, I didn't even know how to turn this thing off and on. It has an off-on button on it that you can see just there, but there's a little light that flashes, and I don't know what any of that means, but I read it and this is what it means. So you hold down the button for 1 second, and if you see a long flash of light, that means the key fob is just turned off. And if you hold it down for 1 second and you see a quick flash of light, like you see here, that means the key fob is on. So what you're meant to do is, after a day of riding, you go home, you put the key fob away and you turn it off. I don't do that. I just leave it on in my jacket all the time. So when I come out to my bike, I don't have to worry about anything. I just turn the bike on and I'm ready to go. That has worked for me for as long as I've had the bike. So I don't see any issues. Maybe the battery will degrade a little bit faster. It's meant to last 2 years, and then you have another key, so that's another 2 years, so that's 4 years, and you can just replace the battery in them anyway, so I don't see any issue. So it's a keyless system. What's the key for, and where does it go? Well, if you think about it, the one place for a key to go on this bike is the rear seat. And something I really love about this bike, I just had the feeling that someone was standing right behind me for a second. That was kind of creepy. So one thing about this bike that I really like is, so it takes the key to open up the rear seat, but once you have the rear seat open, you can take that off, and you can take off the driver's seat with no tools whatsoever. As you can see here, the only tool I need is the key, and I can take off the passenger seat and the rider seat, access the battery and everything I need with no tools. That's really nice. I like that. Last but not least, you want to have fun with your mate, add some traffic lights and do a bike swap. What happens if your mate gets on your bike and you get on his and you guys drive off? Is the bike just going to stop in the middle of the road and you have to come back into range to turn it back on again? That's not really how it works. So we're going to do a little demonstration here. I'm going to get on the bike, I'm going to get the key, start the bike, and then I'm going to throw the key on the ground and ride off, and we're going to see what happens. Hoo-hoo. Where the hell did I throw it? Can't find it. And as you can see, I kept riding perfectly fine. If I was to turn the bike off, it would not start again. So if you're going to do this with friends, don't turn the bike off, because then you're going to be stuck and you have to wait to come back. But yeah, if you always have the key fob, the bike will always start. If you put the key fob somewhere after you've started the bike will continue to run until you turn it off. So there's that. Alright, let me know what you guys think about the Yamaha keyless ignition. I think it's sick. It was actually one of the biggest selling points on the SP model. My tripod is shaking at the moment because it's so windy. That's a bit of a worry. Do you guys trust keyless ignition systems? This is my first time. I've got about 1,000 Ks on the bike and it hasn't messed up at all. So I trust it. What do you guys think? I hope you found this video enjoyable, informationable. Yep. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Give it a like if it helped you, and subscribe. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.